one word to describe this game. I said opportunity. This is a great opportunity.
Oh, I like that one.
Because I can't tell you, they're domination. I'm not to that point with this team yet. But opportunity, it's a wonderful opportunity for Caleb Williams to lead the way and the Bears to punch them in the mouth early with a big play and go, oh, boy, this team's for real.
No matter who's playing at quarterback either for the Ravens, I think that that's the right way to describe it because, just like Washington, this is a game where they're not favored, they're on the road, hostile environment, and it kind of goes back to the way I've been thinking about it, just knowing that they're 6.5-point dogs as of right now. If Lamar doesn't play, if it ends up being Tyler Huntley, then that line's going to go down. But it's like Ben Johnson said when he was addressing the Troy Aikman comments about Caleb, but they have to go out and earn respect before people are willing to give it to them, you can give them the benefit of the doubt. So I think that that's an opportunity, to use that word, Cap, to do it in a place where this is still the Baltimore Ravens. It might not be the ferocious Baltimore Ravens defense of the last couple of years. They are getting some pieces back. Roquan Smith was at practice. Chidobe Awuzie has been back. Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey has an illness, but he'll play. It's still an opportunity to show that you can carry over 4 straight wins, make it 5, do it on the road, and do it against a team that, is far more complete, at least that they were at the beginning of the season. Injuries have wrecked them, but this is a team that's in a much different place, holistically speaking, than the Bears are. And if you do that, then you start to earn your respect, and either in the eyes of Vegas, in the eyes of fans, in the eyes of people who talk about this league on a daily basis.
You were on the sidelines to see the Baltimore Ravens against the Rams. So, again, as I think you've said, you mentioned before that Cooper Rush definitely was not impressive. They didn't let him throw down the field. But what did you see defensively from the Ravens that maybe the Bears could exploit?
It took till that second half because Puka Nacua went out at the end of the second quarter, and then they started defaulting to the run just to try to get something going, and it broke. It broke on that Kyron Williams. He had a big play down the sideline, and then they scored early in the third quarter, and then they had a turnover. So it's kind of like that opportunistic sudden change where they scored 14 points in a matter of 90 seconds. And the Baltimore Ravens defense didn't seem to handle that sudden change that well. So I think when you think about how the Bears have been opportunistic with turnovers for a game, that's clearly where the bar is set for them right now and what they continue to go after, then your offense has to be able to come away with touchdowns and not field goals. And I think that is doable against this defense right now, especially in the red zone.
Courtney, in terms of the ability to run the football against the Ravens, I know Matt Abuke's out with a neck injury for the rest of the year. He's a really wonderful interior run defender. Do you think the Bears can run the football? Roquan's back. That's a wounded team. I feel like if they punch you in the mouth early and you're like, oh, God, we're 10 in the hole already, they've got life in this game. But if you could punch them in the mouth early and be able to run, play action, wow, big play down the field, you could put them down.
And I think that the big play stuff that you talk about, using the run to set that stuff up, to get in the explosives, the second play, as Caleb Williams talks about, you can exploit their pass defense because it's not very good. I mean, in total, they're giving up about 380 yards a game. But against the pass and against play action, because Matthew Stafford used it quite a bit in the last game that the Ravens played in Week 6, that's an opportunity to do that. And finding the split that they have now between Swift and Monangai, that mirrored Detroit as much as any other, instance of it that we've seen so far. And that's what Ben Johnson wants. So I think that you continue on with that plan because Swift will play. I talked to him yesterday. This is a maintenance thing with his groin. He's a veteran player. He knows how to take care of his body. So anticipate that it'll look similar to what it did with those two last week. And I think that that's the strategy when there are some ups and downs in the passing game. Until you get that going, lean on the ground game and try to try to control the clock, set the tempo, situationally be sound, and you're probably feeling pretty good going into halftime.
So what's your gut say about Lamar Jackson on Sunday? Because coming off the hamstring, I don't know if he'll be as fleet of foot and be able to run the football as much, but what's the latest on him? Do you think he'll play?
I don't think he's playing. I really don't. And like the confidence that I have in that is like a couple different things. Number one, when he got injured against the Chiefs, he didn't go into the injury tent. Like he just kind of came out of the game, sat on the bench on the sideline, and then like didn't play in their next two games. So I feel like it was like, because we don't actually know how severe it really is, but they have a short week coming up. I believe they have that Thursday game a week from right now, like a week from yesterday in Miami. He's going to want to play there. That's where he's from. What I'm hearing is that in practice this week, he took reps behind Tyler Huntley and Cooper Rush. So it probably shows you that there is going to be a quarterback switch, backup quarterback switch for them too, but that Lamar is working back into being able to play. I just don't get the sense, somebody who's dealt with hamstrings before, that he's going to want to like rush this thing back. Even though it has been a couple weeks, I still think he needs a week of practice, just based on history of how he's handled these things, a week of practice to then get back into the week of actual game practice to where he'd be ready to play next Thursday. But I just don't get the sense right now. I mean, there's optimism for sure, but it is an injury that he's dealt with before. I don't think that you push it in the first week that you're back on the practice field to be able, but he's not going to be himself out there. Mm-hmm. Like if you have a hamstring injury and your quarterback who, you know, as Kevin Byard said, they're going to try to force him to stay lateral. Like, of course he can win from the pocket, but he can't be the full Lamar. And I think that that's what he wants to be out there if he's going to be returning for, you know, any length of time this season.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you. I've been telling Hoodie that this week. I will be very surprised if he plays. First of all, they're 1-5. If you told me this was week 15 and they're trying to lock up the number one seed, okay, he might push it. Might. But this is 1-5, coming off a bye. They have a substandard opponent next week in his hometown. Yeah, I will be very surprised if he plays.
And one other thing on that. So yesterday kind of went under the radar. They waived a tight end, a young player on the 53. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the emergency third quarterback this weekend, like so they can at least do the whole gamesmanship thing for a little bit longer. If they, because I imagine he'll be limited in practice today. It's a Friday. It's not going to be a heavy day. It's a red zone day, but it's still an opportunity to get him on the practice field. I don't think they rule him out today. I feel like this will be one of those things where if it comes, it'll be the Schefter or Rappaport 11 p.m. Saturday night news drop that he's not going to play, but that he would be active. So keep an eye on that because there is a spot on the active roster. And what that would mean, would that be Tyler Huntley, who's currently their practice squad quarterback, getting onto the active roster and then being able to keep three quarterbacks up on game day. That's just my projection. I don't know if that will happen, but I've just kind of, as I've read the tea leaves of the situation, that's one way I think that they could play it.
Lastly, Courtney, we appreciate your time. What's the injury situation with the Bears?
So Cole Kmet is at risk of missing, I believe it would be his first game of his career because he's got that back injury. So like when Ben Johnson says early in the week that Kmet and Stevenson are day-to-day, week-to-week, I feel like him dropping in week-to-week there was probably a hint that both of them are at risk of missing this game because neither of them have practiced this week. But the other stuff that's on the injury report that I wouldn't, maybe a little concerning, but just seeing it yesterday was that Tremaine Edmonds was on, he was full on Wednesday, was limited yesterday with an ankle injury. Kyler Gordon, I believe it's groin and calf, went from full to limited yesterday. But then DeAndre Swift getting upgraded, DJ Moore getting upgraded. I believe both of them will play.
Have a great day, Courtney, and go IU.
Big one this weekend. I don't know how to feel about UCLA coming to town. They're a hot team right now, but I still think we get it done.
We'll get it done. Have a great weekend. We appreciate you
guys.
as always.
Thank you, Courtney.
Take care.
Courtney Cronin on the Yingling Hotline.